Okay, thanks for coming to the session. My name is Matt Krieger. I'm on the Board of Advisors of CCVIP, and I'm also on the board of the Reader's Digest Foundation. Wanted to thank you for being here today. Remind everybody, please put the cell phones on mute or vibrate. Otherwise, on the first ring, you'll be ejected from the building. Yeah, Gus is going to take you and eject you.
That's my job.
That's your job. Don't forget, if you do tweet during the session, you can tweet at hashtag CCVIP15. Okay, so we want CCVIP to continue to be the leader in social media.
What is the Visus?
Thank you. Oh, I don't know, but I'm going to let Attila tell you once I introduce him. You know what? Let me close the door because it's getting a little noisy. Can I close this?
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, so again, thanks for coming. So I'm going to introduce our presenter. His name is Attila Priplata. He is a Ph.D. and Director of R&D, that's Research and Development for Visus Technology. He's got a dozen years of experience in delivering technologies from conception to product launch. His strengths are system design, technology integration, and understanding the customer requirements in order to provide the best possible user experience. At Visus, Attila is the lead software architect and manages all aspects of product research and development. His background goes from medical devices and neuromodulation, for the treatment of vision loss to neuromuscular deficits, hypertension, pressure ulcers, and endoscopically placed devices for treatment of obesity. He graduated from Boston University with a Bachelor's of Science in 2000, and got his Ph.D. in 2005, both degrees in biomedical engineering. He worked on development of products that use neurostimulation to improve balance and gait in older people and people with sensory loss in their peripheral nervous system. He continued to work through his postdoc at Harvard Medical School and in his first industry job at Stryker. Stryker makes prosthetics and all other sorts of medical things. Prior to Visus, he was the R&D manager at a company called Endocor, where he designed and developed endoscopically placed obesity devices. So I will hand it over to you.
Thank you.
I think your mic is on, and we'll take it from here.
Great. Thank you, Matt. Thank you to the organizers of the CCVIP for having Visus Technology at this conference. On behalf of myself and our CEO, Stephen McCormick, who's in the back of the room, it's with great gratitude that we're here with you guys today and to talk about our new product that we just launched 1 month ago, VelaSense. But first we'll get into a little bit about what Visus Technology is, or who we are. And our mission is to provide mobility, communication, social networking software to the visually impaired, elderly, and other niche markets. So we have a picture here of Ray Charles. He is quite an inspiring person, as we all know. And he has broken amazing barriers with his talent to provide music for everyone. Well, in the same philosophy, we want to break down the barriers for the visually impaired and the elderly, especially in the smart devices market. It is very difficult for visually impaired individuals to take advantage of such technologies that sighted people take advantage of every day. And especially with smartphones with touch screens, this tends to be a very difficult challenge to operate a phone. And as Visus Technology, we have labored to bring forth accessibility features within smartphones, specifically the Android operating system, to enable individuals to use smartphones and have a very productive life like their sighted peers. So on top of Android is where we reside, and we can have the Android iPhone debate at another conference. But here, Visus Technology positions itself right onto the Android platform. And I'm going to be using the word integration quite frequently through this presentation. And Visus is integrating user applications across the sensors and displays and accessories of smartphones. and taking advantage also of algorithms that provide processing and analysis functions, such as color recognition, text recognition algorithms. So using the camera on the back of a smartphone to allow those kind of technologies to come to bear. So it wouldn't be possible to interact with the outside world if we didn't also have the means to connect to that world. And it is with great pride that we have a partnership with Verizon, an exclusive partnership, the largest broadband carrier, as you guys know, to bring forth solutions that allow us to take advantage of the wireless connectivity that a smartphone provides, and then also take advantage of cloud computing and allow us to be able to store profiles of individuals in the cloud that allow them to have a custom experience when using our products. So in light of the relationship that we have with Verizon, I'd like to show you a video that was created by Verizon that describes the partnership between us. And let me just hope that our internet connection is working today.
Find Rose's Coffee. Continue forward 9 feet and turn right. Verizon is at the forefront of providing access, products, and services to the disabled. We're truly dedicated to enhancing independence and improving the daily lives of the visually impaired.
What Verizon brings to the Visus solution is our high-speed, low-latency LTE network, which allows them to process and store large amounts of information in near real time. Wearable computing from Visus and Verizon helps users in social settings by recognizing people and facial expressions.
That's Professor Johnson. He is smiling. Oh, hi, Professor Johnson.
Hi, Tanya. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Can I get that door for you?
Check this out. Find door. Entry point of 0 degrees. No thanks. I got it.
It can help identify colors.
Red.
It can identify denominations of money.
$20 bill.
And it gives voice access to the internet, news, music, and social media.
Reading university news.
Our next class of assistive technologies will be sensors and peripherals that can be used hands-free with a head-mounted display or glasses.
From when you first identified yourself as a blind or visually impaired person,
Brian Charleston
you've
from the
become
Cal Center.
dependent on others for many aspects of your life. With the Visus Verizon solution, all of those aspects become not only simpler, but more independently empowered.
Dog food. Chicken flavor.
It's heartwarming to see the solution making a real difference for the disabled within our community. Now lead to door.
Entry point of 0 degrees.
Giving anybody the tools to live independently or make their lives a little easier, well, that's life-changing.
Because the world's biggest challenges deserve even bigger solutions. Powerful answers. Verizon.
So we've been fortunate to fall within the Powerful Answers campaign that has been running for the past 2 years within Verizon Wireless. And it is there that VelaSense, which is our initial product, resides. And VelaSense is a platform technology within the smartphone world that integrates various components of living. And so that's social connectivity, life management, and computer vision. Here we have a Venn diagram basically illustrating the fact that at the heart of this, VelaSense is integrating these 3 particular fields within a smartphone. And life management functions, they're described as those that allow you to make a phone call, search a contact, compose a text message, handle your calendar events, emails, photos, that sort of thing. Social and local connectivity is now we're talking about the Facebooks, the Twitters of the world, and also managing things such as bus schedules and getting information about weather or news. And then our Pride suite of applications is in the world of computer vision. And computer vision is a term that is used when describing the use of a camera and a computer, where the computer interprets the visual world around you through the sight of the camera. So in place of your vision, a computer can discern to a point the product that's in front of you, the text that's in front of you, the face that's in front of you, or the object that's in front of you. So these three aspects are what make VelaSense great. And here I have a depiction of what our home screen is. VelaSense is takes the place of a home screen. So if you're using an Android smartphone, you have your native home screen, which is typically a set of buttons that activate your phone, your apps, your calendar, that sort of thing. Here we have the same sort of layout, but larger buttons, simplified home screen. Very difficult to get lost within VelaSense. Everything is laid out on one screen, and this layout of apps is in a scrollable list. So that's vertically scrolled, and I will demonstrate all this to you in a few minutes. And within VelaSense, we have, again, the life management functions. So we have contacts, we have phone, message, email, clock, calendar. We have a camera app that is very cool, that I'll get into more detail about, that actually helps you as a visually impaired individual orient your phone to take better pictures. We have a magnifier for our partially sighted customers. We have a gallery, which allows you to manage your photos. We have Twitter, YouTube for social networking. Facebook is coming soon. Google search. We have a news application that takes advantage of top news agencies, such as Wall Street Journal, CNN, BBC, NPR. We have an audiobooks application taking advantage of the libraries that are out there that allow you to stream audio books to your phone. We have a bus application to tell you when your next bus is arriving at the particular stop you're at. We have a music player, which is an MP3 player. It's a jukebox, really, organizing your music into playlists. We have a radio that allows you to stream various radio applications. Radio stations, not applications, and those include different genres. So we group the radio stations within genres that might appeal to each one of you. We have an apps manager that is similar to the apps manager that you would find on a smartphone. This one is organized, again, with big buttons, big text, simple display. Important to know at VelaSense is that we're fully integrated with Talkback. So Talkback is the accessibility text-to-speech voice readout engine that runs on the Android smartphone. So if you're an iPhone user, it's VoiceOver. If you're an Android user, it's Talkback. And so Talkback, again, is fully integrated in here with giving you the feedback of the button that you're touching, what you're listening to, what application you're about to start, where you're located currently in VelaSense, and I'm going to show you that all in a few minutes. We also have, yes, I'm sorry, did I?
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure, please.
How much, I hate to ask this, but how much is it going to sell for?
Good question. So I have a slide on that. We'll talk a little bit, but right now it's $14.99 a month. It's a subscription-free package, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes. So just give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're talking to a former Medicaid auditor, so I'm very important about figures.
Good. Well, let's talk afterwards, please. So to continue, we also have a barcode application that allows you to scan items as long as you find your barcode, which typically is on the bottom of a package or on the back of a package, this will find it for you once you're on the right side of the package. It will tell you the cost of that item and also of course, more importantly, what that item is that you're holding. We have a color recognition engine that tells you, what color shirt you're about to put on. Do you have matching socks in your hand? That sort of thing. So we have a money recognition app, which allows you to obviously detect money, recognize money. U.S. currency is our first offering, but we plan to bring in international currencies as well. And this also has a nice feature to it, which is a counting feature. So it will sum up the amount of money that you're holding in your hand as you pass these bills in front of you. We have a text recognition application that allows you to recognize text, for instance, business cards, the bill that you receive every month. You go out to a restaurant, you want to read a menu. That's what the text recognition is for. And then we have face tracking, which allows you to know how many individuals are looking at you. If you're giving a talk like I am, it will tell me how many people are actually paying attention to me. Just by the fact that you're glancing at me. It'll tell you where those people are relative to where the camera is that you're holding. So within tools, we have this icon called Tools. Within that, we have a file manager that allows you to manage the files on the phone, as well as a talking calculator and a calculator that you can control via voice recognition, which brings me to voice recognition. We have a means to operate the phone via voice recognition. So there's an icon that's located at the top right corner of your home screen, actually located throughout VelaSense. So no matter what part of VelaSense you're in, you'll find this icon on the top right. You double click as you need to. For Talkback, you need to double click to activate something. And you can speak into a command. It's grammar based, which means that you have to use a specific word to get it to go. So if I say call Stephen, it's going to then know that it needs to place a phone call. And it may ask you at that point whether it's a mobile phone or a work phone, and then you would say mobile or work. So that's the kind of voice recognition. It's not natural language, which is what the holy grail is right now in voice recognition, but we're getting there. We're heading in that direction. And finally, we have a couple applications here associated with your customization and your profile. We have the VelaCloud app that takes advantage of the file storage system that we provide in the cloud for you. And we have the subscription manager, which manages your subscription. Again, going back to that $14.99 I mentioned, we'll get into a little more detail. It allows you to manage that profile, add a password to your phone, to your subscription, along those lines. And then finally, just one second, finally, the call support is a direct support line that goes to Verizon, and they then negotiate the call initially, and if they can't solve the problem, you come to our customer service at Visus Technology, and we walk you through whatever the problem that you may be facing. Yes, you got a question? Jeff? We'll come back to you.
Yeah, we'll come back to that after. And Attila, just to let you know from a time perspective, so we're going to run until 11:55.
Sure.
And we should probably leave 5-10 minutes at the end for questions. So.
Good.
Okay.
All right. So good. I'm about halfway, so we're good. So let me give you a little more detail. I've already walked through to the computer vision technologies, so I can just run through this slide. Image enhancement is an important aspect of VelaSense that comes with the magnifier application, allowing you to not only magnify to 12 times zoom, but also allows you to change the contrast of the image. So this is very important for partially sighted people that only see in black and white or blue and yellow. Various filters can be applied to the background. Yes, go ahead.
I have two quick questions about the previous screen.
Sure.
In terms of travel, you mentioned a bus app,
Yes.
a bus icon that will tell you when the bus is coming, etc. Does it also tell you which bus it is? Because
Yes.
I'm partially sighted, so
Right.
I can be standing there, but when a bus in a multiple bus station, like say several buses stop at that stop, I don't know what bus it is. I constantly have to ask, what bus is this? Which bus is
Right.
this?
So, sorry, could everybody hear the question?
Yes.
Okay, now it's good.
Yeah, so that's it's a very important point. Where we see VelaSense heading is sort of this cross feature application pathway, which is allowing the computer vision applications to interact with something like the bus application to notify you when that bus is arriving. Currently, we do not do that, but you have to have some knowledge, first of all, of what your bus number you're waiting for.
Right.
And then the time updates in real time, according to whatever the GPS schedule of that particular bus agency is. So, but I understand your point, and it has been a consideration of VelaSense to move in that direction.
So right now, it just tells me if I'm waiting for the B41, for example, and say the next B41 will be arriving at such and such time.
That's correct.
But it wouldn't tell me when that bus actually pulled in,
Right.
just to say another bus 25 or something like that.
Right, right.
And in terms of the, excuse me, the language, you said that it uses grammar now, but you're trying to update that?
Right, so currently, you're speaking of the voice recognition?
Yes.
Yeah, so currently it's command-based. So what that grammar is command-based. You have to give a known word to trigger it into the application you want to run. So you could click the voice recognition button and say face tracking or say calendar, and it would go into that app. Then there'd be a set of features that you could toggle via voice recognition as well. You can also send a text or make a phone call rather quickly anywhere within the app using voice recognition.
So my last question has to do with updates. As things change, will those updates be, once those updates are available, is that something that you now have to purchase a new package or a new?
No. So that is the reason why we're a subscription model rather than your typical, I see an app on the Play Store or on the iTunes Store and I pay for it and I download it. It's a relationship that we're building with the customer, with you, to so that once you're within our application, once you're a subscriber, you are entitled to all the applications that come with the updates, and this is a lifelong relationship that we're building with you as the customer. So you will not have to pay for any new applications within VelaSense. It's all included within the $14.99.
Is that per month?
That's per month, yep. And that particular $14.99 per month you have the option of incorporating that right into your Verizon bill. So the relationship that we have with Verizon allows us to know whether you're a Verizon customer. If you are a Verizon customer, you can either pay by credit card or have it billed directly to your phone bill along with your normal phone charges.
Do we get a discount?
It sounds like a good deal to me.
So this brings me to the cost and commitment. We give you a 30-day trial. So you go to the Google Play Store, you download it, you walk into a Verizon store, they'll download it for you. We've had a number of cases of this already where customers have gone right into the Verizon store. The Verizon salesperson knows of the product and incorporates it right into the purchase of your new phone. You get a 30-day free trial where we ask upfront an email address. This is your only indication of personal information that we take from you. It's just so that we can make sure that everybody's a unique subscriber. And then at the end of the 30-day, we ask you kindly to subscribe for $14.99 a month to continue on with our services. And those services, as we've already talked about, is the introduction of new updates, advancements within VelaSense. It is the commitment that Verizon that will be a service provider for you and will answer your questions, as we are committed to handling your customer service needs as related to the VelaSense product. Though we've had a number of calls that have come in where we've actually helped you set up the phone in the Android environment, because there is a challenge, obviously, learning a new phone, and we're adept to teach you the ins and outs of the Android and the Talkback services. Yes, go ahead.
Is Verizon the only provider? Is there another, like T-Mobile or another?
Currently it is. So for the next year or two it will be, and then we will be opening up to more.
Oh, so if you're on T-Mobile with an Android device, you can't download.
Currently you don't see it, but we plan to change that very quickly in the next week, where we actually other providers will be able to see the product on the Google Play Store, and then you'll be able to download it, try it for 30 days. But after the 30 days, it will require you for the next year to convert over to Verizon plan if you're so interested.
Oh, you still have to go over to Verizon?
Yes, currently for the next year or two, yeah, because we have an exclusive with Verizon.
Oh, I see.
Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yes.
Me? I'm a little, I'm not understanding, maybe.
Sure.
But this VelaSense, am I saying it right?
Yes.
Yes. That's an app?
Indeed.
Yeah. Now, and within this app are all the other things,
Correct.
Facebook. So what's the benefit of subscribing to your plan over having each app individually?
Good. So
Yeah.
it is a different business model to have each app individually. What we're trying to do here is be the all-in-one solution for you. So you don't have to go looking for us and going through the burden of finding each one of these applications individually under the Google Play Store. There's also a big advantage of having an integrative solution, which is we can do applications that cross over. So if I'm doing text recognition and reading a business card, I could email that to myself, right? I could send it via text to somebody else. It's those kind of integrative features that make it possible. It makes it possible if we have this all-in-one solution rather than individual applications. Yeah. Let me take one more question and let me get into the application. We'll have more questions at the end.
How about the gal in the front row who hasn't asked the question
Sure.
yet?
Yes, go ahead.
So what phone compatible with this? Is it good for the iPhone or
Yes.
Android?
It's the Android phone. So and we are open to everything above 4.42. So it's KitKat and above. So if you're familiar with the Android world, KitKat, they named their operating systems after desserts. And KitKat is the one that is prior to the current one, which is Lollipop. And so KitKat and Lollipop are the two versions of the operating system we're compatible with.
It wouldn't work with the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus?
No, not currently.
Just the 5 and below?
In the Android world, not in the iPhone. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so you're not compatible with Android 4.22?
No, not currently.
Okay.
Yes.
Will you ever consider running over to iPhone?
So, sorry, the question there was, would you ever consider converting over to the iPhone?
Yes, we are considering it. We're considering it in a year or two to make that jump. Yeah. Yes.
So you don't supply any hardware then? This is just a set of apps that works on your Android phone that you already have?
Yes, we are looking forward. We are looking at accessories that would be included within a purchase of VelaSense.
Because I just wondered that girl in the video, she had this device with the screen and all that.
Yeah.
That's got nothing to do with you. She just happened to have that and put your...
Yeah, she starts out with a smartphone. And then downloads VelaSense from the Google Play Store.
So you're completely software.
We're completely software currently. As we get into wearable technologies, where we see our next big jump as far as a company, we're going to be integrating with the smart watches. We're going to be integrating with the Bluetooth and all that stuff. But let me stop everyone there. Let me get into the app itself so that we can actually see VelaSense at work. So we'll have time for more questions at the end. I will have to switch projectors here, so just give me 1 second. So I'm going to use an overhead projector here that allows me to project the home screen and VelaSense to you. Okay. So this is the VelaSense home screen. As I mentioned, it's each individual app is on a scrolling list. So within the Talkback environment, to scroll a list requires 2 fingers. You can move it up or down. There's also what most iPhone users use is the flick gesture. That's also available in the Android system. Right, so I can flick through each one of these applications. Okay. With VelaSense is organized so that at the top of the home page is a control bar that allows you to manage some of the typical system settings, such as your ringer, your GPS, your Wi-Fi, and your Bluetooth. So this is within the services control panel, which you access from the top of the screen. I mentioned before also that every screen has a voice recognition button located at the top right corner that if I tap will allow me to
voice recognition button.
Activate something via voice recognition.
Speak voice command after the ding.
Call Stephen.
Back button. Voice recognition. Speak voice command after the ding.
Call Stephen.
Speak work or other or mobile after the ding.
Mobile.
Calling Stephen G. McCormick.
So Stephen back there is going to get a call in a second. But so that's just one example of the voice recognition system. Now I can activate everything here. I can dictate into it when I'm composing a text message or an email, for example. Also within the services control panel, we have a shortcut button that allows you to pause or fast forward your audiobook, for instance, or your music that you're listening to from your MP3 player. We have a marker service. What this is related to the GPS application. So we have a pedestrian GPS app. I might have forgotten to mention that one. That allows you to locate important landmarks near you, such as restaurants, bars, post office, that sort of thing. If you're walking along your path and there's that pesky fire hydrant you're always bumping into that's jutting out right in front of you, you can drop what we call a breadcrumb right at that position within the GPS coordinates, that the next time you travel that path, the phone will remind you, hey, remember there's that fire hydrant coming up. So we have that, and you start that marker service within the control manager here. Then we have various system settings that we can access here. So we try to take over as much of the phone as possible, just because of if you could hold your questions till the end, so I can get through as much of this as possible. So we try to incorporate as many system settings as we can, as we're allowed to. For example, volumes, GPS, as I mentioned before, setting your location, things like that. We can also customize the phone. So within system settings, under visual properties, I can change the background and foreground color. So for partially sighted,
Background color is white. Background color button.
So I can change it to other things such as red, for instance, and maybe I change red to white. I mean black to white for the foreground.
White button, white set.
So there's an opportunity to customize the look. We also have, it's not by accident that we have the color red for Verizon. So we also have an opportunity to make the home screen more compact. So we can change it to
You have changed home page to 2-column style.
So now when I get back to the home screen, you're going to see that it's going to go from one column to 2 column, allowing more apps within one page. You can change the brightness level, the screen timeout. You have audio properties that allow you to, again, change the ring of language, to customize the text-to-speech engine. Many people complain that the text-to-speech engine that comes with the phone is very robotic. There's opportunities to go to the Google Play Store and download more natural-sounding audio engines. So we offer that an option to do that here.
Yeah.
Back button. System settings menu.
Sensor properties is just another pathway towards that Google, the marker service that I talked about. And then the accessibility control.
Accessibility. We are taking you to Android's accessibility menu.
This will allow you direct access into the Android's accessibility system, where there's a lot of things that you can take advantage of in there that I recommend you explore, such as audio focus. And what audio focus is that if you got music playing in the background and you got an audible alert that comes in from the text-to-speech or talkback, you want to be able to hear the talkback. You don't want the competition between the music and the text-to-speech. So the music will actually quiet down while the text-to-speech talks over it. So there's various features like that that you can customize. The big difference between Android and iPhone is that Android allows for a lot of customization. There's a lot of options that are open to you, whereas iPhone is sort of canned, right? There's not much of an opportunity to customize.
System settings menu.
So there's many ways to navigate the phone, typical of Talkback, right? So if I wanted to go back to the home, go back, there's various ways I can do that. I can make a backwards L gesture. I can use our two-finger gesture, which is innate to VelaSense, that allows me to go back. So now I'm back at the home screen. We have also gestures that allow granularity. So this is a feature that's very important for iPhone users in particular, as well as Android users. It's when you have a long amount of text, right, that you want to get through. And it's very difficult for the text-to-speech engine to be talking at 200 words per minute. This fast, so right? You can't make out a long text or a long email. So there's an opportunity to do what is called granularity, which allows the text-to-speech engine to go word by word, paragraph by paragraph, line by line, right? And you do that by activating it by doing an upside L. And then you put down the finger. You go to something like character. So now if I do the swipe, so now as I'm swiping, doing the flick gesture, it will spell out the word because I'm doing character granularity. Right. So. So quickly, I'm going to go through the life management stuff. The real interest is obviously in the computer vision stuff, which I'm going to spend more time in. But we try to organize each application with, again, big buttons, simple interface. We have this nifty alpha bar that we place, for example, in any list that has an alphabetical ordering. So you tap it on the side and you run your finger down. Allows you to jump right to the contact or whatever's in your list quickly. Right? So I wanted to highlight some of the more interesting features of the phone. For example, in the camera application. So this is your camera app. You have a big button here that actually takes the photo, focuses the image and takes the photo for you. We have a number of other features. The most important one that I'd like to highlight is our guidance system. So if I were to turn that on right now,
turn guidance. One facing center.
So it tells me two important pieces of information. One is how many faces are in front of you, where that face is located in the image. So say if you have an artistic component to this picture that you're taking where you want the face to be off to the side, it will help you to do that, right? It will tell you that the person's face is on the left.
Right bottom. One facing right top.
So we also have these beeps, and what these beeps do for you is help you align the phone in a perfect vertical alignment, as well as a perfect horizontal alignment. So if I were turning the phone in a landscape orientation, which is where the width of the phone is longer than the height, then it will tell you by these beeps that you've aligned. So one of the biggest problems that I think a lot of visually impaired individuals have is that they're taking pictures of people's feet or they're taking pictures of the clouds, right? So this will actually help you orient so you're taking pictures straight out.
Back button. Listing items 1 through 8 of 30.
So again, we have the magnifier application.
Magnifier on.
Right, so as I mentioned, we have We have about 12 times zoom. And we also have various effects that you can apply. Right, so negative highlighting, contrast differences within a picture. Important for reading various text or making out what an object is within a very dark environment, for example.
Back button. Listing items 1 through 8.
So we also have, obviously, as part of the social networking, the Twitter, the YouTube. I told you we had Facebook coming. Google search is interesting. It's, again, fully voice controlled, so you could talk right into the phone and say search, and then so you first use the word search, and then it'll ask you what you want to search, right? Because it's voice command driven, and you could say anything, right? CCVIP, and then it would tell you about the conference that's going on. We have a weather application. We have a news application. We talked about the bus service. So the GPS application, I haven't mentioned too much in detail, but again, you can look for interesting locations near you. You can enter an address. We have a means to guide you to that via pedestrian navigation. So let's see if we can find a restaurant here.
Search nearby, set search rate, select radius, 500. Search button, please wait, fetching current location.
So hopefully we have a GPS signal in here.
Search results loading.
All right.
Tab room number 307 button.
So within these items, you can get information about the restaurant itself, its location, the distance from you, its rating on a 4-point scale. So 3 out of this particular restaurant, the Globe, is 3.8 out of 4. Its pricing, so it's moderately priced, as one would expect from a 3.8 rating. And then you have the option of sending this via text message to a friend if you want to invite them to that restaurant. And then by clicking the guide button, it will start a pedestrian navigation to navigate you to that location. And as you know, GPS has an accuracy of about 30 meters. So it's not going to get you right to the door, but we have technology that's coming down the pipeline that will, which is camera-based as well as GPS-based. So that's what I'll talk a little bit about towards the end of the talk.
Back button.
And
Back button. Listing items 17 through 24.
so say you're interested in picking a t-shirt out of your closet and you want to know what color they are. We have an app for that.
Color recognition.
Right.
Red.
Right, so this one with the text red. We have a couple of interesting features here. We can silence this, right, so that we don't have to hear it all the time. There's a couple other buttons I want to highlight here. One is the hints button. A lot of our computer vision applications have a hints button that give you useful information about how to orient your phone, what kind of environments it will work in best, and how to hold the phone in terms of the landscape orientation. Landscape being
Color
width being the long way, height being the shorter way, and then we have also a button particular in color recognition that allows you to adjust the white balance. So I don't know if many of you are familiar with white balance in photography. It's a feature that photographers use to adjust for the lighting conditions of a room. So to improve the color recognition, we offer this button at the bottom of the screen here that allows you to set, for example, for incandescent lighting, or fluorescent lighting. So if you're at home, you would set it to incandescent. If you're at your office, you would set it to fluorescent lighting. This is just to improve the recognition engine.
Back button. Listing items 17 through 24 of 3. Money button.
So then also, I would like to also demonstrate the money recognition. So money recognition currently is a server-based application. It will be moving directly onto the phone. So what I mean by server-based is that you need a Wi-Fi connection for it to work, whether it be 3G, 4G, or Wi-Fi. But within a matter of a week or two, we're actually going to be completely client-based, meaning you won't have to worry about connectivity. And you hold your phone in any orientation that you want. Double tap in the middle of the screen.
Processing.
And then wait for the response.
$5 bill total is $5. Money recognition server ready.
So this every time I tap, it will count the next bill, total it for you, give you that information. So in case you lose track of how many bills you've had in front of you, it'll give you a total. Again, there's an extra button here that you didn't see in the color recognition, which is the guidance button. The guidance button allows you to orient, again, it will help you orient the phone by actual audible feedback. So instead of the hints button, which just gives you a description of, hey, go try this, the guidance button will actually tell you how to turn the phone, how to hold it, whether the phone is pointing straight down, whether it's pointing out, all useful information to properly align the phone to the object that you're interested in.
Back button. Portrait. Listing items 17 through 24 of 30. Apps button.
So one of our most exciting applications that have just actually come out this week is object recognition. And object recognition allows for both a server-based recognition. So we have over 1 million products that we have in our database. These are consumer products, so the packaging of consumer products, to be more specific. It will help you recognize the brand that you have in your hand, the item that you're holding, and so forth. A really nice feature of this, which actually I think is the most exciting part of object recognition, the ability to store items that are personal to you. So with 1 million, you have to imagine that with 1 million items out there in your database, the chances of a false positive, meaning accidentally mistaking a fruit roll-ups box for cherry versus strawberry is likely, right? But if you were to store it locally, there you would see the accuracy improve because your database is that much smaller, right? So if I were to store an object here,
Object storage ready.
so none of these items are stored yet. So in front of me here is a box of Quaker Chewy Dips cookies and cream.
Landscape.
So if I tap the middle here,
To start. Portrait.
you wait for the
Please
beep.
enter the name of the object note. Rounds of special characters and helper keys are located above the standard letter keys.
So actually, before I get into that, I should mention that this is what our keyboard looks like, which is different from the Android and the iPhone keyboard. Our keyboard provides every button to you all at once. It comes up as a separate activity within the environment. And at the top is your edit box, right, that you can move the cursor around. But within each line of this keyboard is all the characters that you would ever want. Right? So you're not switching between screens to get to symbols, to numbers. It's all at your fingertip. And as I mentioned before, you can dictate directly into the keyboard. So I can.
Voice recognition button. Speak text entry after the ding.
Chewy.
Chewy.
So recognize Chewy. I come down to.
Enter selected. Double tap now to submit this entry. Chewy saved successfully.
So now the word Chewy, which describes the box I'm holding, is saved. I go up to activate recognizer within the object recognition menu. Again, I click on the center here, double click. So I have to wait for the beep. That tells me the image is in focus. Right?
Chewy. Chewy.
You hear that, right? Chewy? Yeah. So you can have an infinite amount of items within your local database. The database in the cloud will continue to grow. Right now it's predominantly around consumer goods, specifically big box store kind of items. But we will be expanding that product list. And then, of course, the local database is infinite. It's whatever items you have in your house.
Back button. Listing items
So
17 through
I'm about to wrap up. Are we doing okay on time?
Yeah, so we have 10 minutes left. I suspect we're going to have a ton of questions. Do you have more you want to show, or should we?
Yeah, I mean, I could show you also the text recognition.
Yes, please.
Yeah, of course.
And then Gus, I know you're chomping at the bit to.
Something stable, I can wait, it's fine.
All right, so I'm going to demonstrate the text recognition now. So the text recognition, again, icon on your home screen, double click.
Landscape. Text recognition ready.
So the word, it's saying landscape, so that's a cue immediately that you're supposed to hold your phone in landscape. Okay? The best practice with any one of these features is to find the camera on the back of the phone with your finger. Okay? So the camera is always off-center, typically. It's always located on the left side if your home button is on the right. So this, what I'm holding here is a Samsung S5. So that's the latest Samsung Galaxy phone. And what's nice about this phone that I think a lot of visually impaired people like about it is that the home button is raised, right? So on a lot of Android phones, they put the home button within the in line with the touch screen. It's difficult to find, but the Samsung S5 raises its home button, so you can actually feel it tactily, right? So on the
Overview. Landscape. Text recognition ready.
So again, I locate the camera. The camera is on the left side of the back of the phone. I place that in the middle of the object, or in this case, I'm holding I have a business card that I'm going to recognize. I lift up about 6 inches.
Double click to start. Back portrait.
Let me just
Listing items. Text landscape. Text recognition ready. Double click to start. Visus Technology incorporated the power of Attila A. Priplata, Ph.D. Director of Research and Development 617.642.9459. Cell Priplata at visustech.com.
So pretty good for my nervous jitters that you see shaking back and forth here. But yeah, it does a very nice job with business cards, with bills, with menus, and so forth. All right, so let me just close with saying that a little bit about exactly where we're headed here beyond VelaSense, and then I'll open up the floor to questions.
You said something about radio station.
Yes.
Sir, can we hold that question just for 30 seconds?
Yeah, just hold it.
Attila's going to wrap up, and then we'll...
Yeah. So in terms of future direction here for Visus Technology, as you saw in the video, or heard in the video, that there was an example of facial recognition where the student was interacting with the professor and recognized the professor's name. Within a few months, we will have face recognition on the phone. It's not the best use case, the phone, honestly, for face recognition, because you can imagine you don't want to be in a crowd holding a phone straight out in front of you and trying to have a conversation recognizing people. But in the application that might have been shown in that video, where you have a lanyard, which is a little something tied around your neck that holds the phone in place, that might be more appropriate, maybe. But where we really see Visus Technology moving is into wearable technologies. So head-mounted cameras, cameras on your lapel, little computers on your wrist, that sort of thing. So we hope that that facial recognition will have a bigger play in that. And we also see a big play in mobile health, which is a new field right now, thanks to mobile technology, where we are able to interact directly with your doctors and bring your doctors together with you. And we see some value in that. The most important thing is enhancing your independence, right, which is also important to all of you. And we see that in many different ways. But we want to make sure that you're safe and secure at all times. And in the future, we plan to bring an application onto the phone that allows us to be connected onto your phone to help you in times of need, where we can actually view the screen you're looking at or view the environment you're looking at and help you through it. So sort of on-demand assistance, if you will. So let me close with that, and I'm happy to take questions. Again, thank you very much for your time.
Sir, you had the question about the radio.
Yeah. You said something about you have the radio station capability. I didn't get clear on that.
Sure.
So the question was, what is the specific radio station capability in the tool? And then Gus, why don't you go after we answer that question?
So again, our radio stations are organized by genre. So we have the American Council for the Blind's radio station up top, National Public Radio, BBC. Basically, you tap any one of these, and these radio stations are streamed live to your phone. Right. So they are. It's like a web. It's like on the web, right?
Yeah.
You go to Live 365, you can get a radio station.
I thought it will work as a radio station.
Oh, you thought it would work like a radio station? Okay. No.
Gus, you had a question?
So I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
The text-to-speech app, is that also native or is that server-based?
The text-to-speech is native. It's part of the Talkback, right? So like the iPhone is voiceover is native.
I'm sorry, not text-to-speech, the OCR function that you performed on
yeah.
Is that native or is that server-based?
It's currently server-based, but within a week we're planning to move that to client as well.
Awesome. And my other question is, how easy is it to move from the VelaSense ecosystem to the Android ecosystem and back?
Right, so that's really up to you. So the home button, so the home button on any phone within Android pops typically 2 options, but on this particular Samsung phone it pops 3 options. So that 2 of the options are your native home screen. One is and both are designed by Samsung. Then we also are incorporated within this home button. So you have the choice of jumping in and out of the environment by the touch of the home button.
Nice.
So let's take a question from the gentleman with the ponytail.
Yes.
Yeah, the pedestrian GPS, will that give you turn-by-turn directions as you're going from site to site once you tell them where you want to go?
Yes. Yes, it does. It updates according to your positioning, and constantly. I mean, not to the point of annoyance, but we give you step-by-step direction of your current location, the direction you're heading, and then the distance and time to your arrival.
Right. So let's say, like, from here, we're on 26th Street. We want to go down to 23rd and hit the subway at Lexington.
Right. Right. So you could dictate that into the phone's feature where it says search location. So you could put you could search, because it's a part of the Google. We're using the Google Search API.
Right.
So it would allow you to get the address of that, and then we would direct you to that address.
Okay.
So we have a question from the woman with the Braille keyboard.
I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about the process of focus grouping, user testing, getting advisement, and the thing that makes me wonder about it, you've got such a lot of innovative technology, and then this facial recognition, I've only ever met sighted people that are fascinated with that. So I wonder how you determine your priorities and to what extent this effort and its continuation is user-directed.
It used to be that face recognition was one of our top priorities, and it wasn't until focus groups and interaction with the visually impaired community, direct interaction with the visually impaired community, that moved down the list. And so we're trying. Again, it's about the use case, right? So the use case, we don't see the use case there in a handheld smartphone, of putting a smartphone in front of your face and having it be obtrusive, in front of your face, blocking your conversation as this thing is trying to recognize the person. And so we put that sort of down on the totem pole of priorities in terms of new features that are coming down the pipeline. But it's worth a mention because of the fact that we've had some advertising around that, and the organizer of the CCVIP conference asked us to mention that. Yes.
Can you speak to the testing that was done along the way with the device development?
Yes.
From the very initiation.
Very initiation, yeah, good. So we started out at the Carroll Center in Newton, Massachusetts. We had a summer school, young visually impaired children from the ages 10 to teenage years, so 18. And they had an opportunity to play with the phone for a week. And we had an unbelievable amount of enthusiasm, and most importantly, the feedback was what was so crucial into the VelaSense that you see today. From there, we moved into an adult population. In Chicago, we participated in a marketing survey with a company called GFK. And we had over 20 adult participants come in and discuss the ins and outs. We discussed with them the ins and outs of the phone. They actually got to use it for the day, and then they gave us very honest, very candid feedback that, again, was incorporated right into the product. And to this day, we continue that mantra of immediate turnaround in functionality and performance. So we're constantly getting feedback on the product, and within 2 weeks, typically, we turn it right back into the product and push it out. Yeah.
Do you plan on integrating this app into your own native wearable with a camera, or other wearables?
So hardware that we design.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. Not right now. It wasn't part of our roadmap in the beginning, but with the innovations in smartphone technology and smartphone wearables.
So in that video, it was actually the camera that was taking the picture. It looked like she had something on her glasses, or he had glasses.
That is a prototype of a potential partner that we're looking at for wearable technology.
Sorry, so one or two more questions. Tanya.
Okay, when it pertains to the navigation system, on the video, when he said, "You want me to help you to the door?" and she said, "No, thank you," and then she did something and it told her how far the entryway was. Is that part of the GPS function?
Not currently. That is a demonstration of technology that we have coming down the road that incorporates the camera on the back of the phone with the GPS in order to direct you not only to a location that GPS does well enough, right, within 30 meters, but to actually get you physically to the door, you need the integration with the camera. And that technology is what we're demonstrating there, but it's not currently incorporated within VelaSense.
Okay, the other part of the question, when it pertains to upgrading the apps and stuff, because you kept mentioning coming in the future with certain things. Once something does happen, you automatically upgrade it on your end, and it's available as a free upgrade for whoever is a subscriber?
So it's all held in the realm of the Google Play Store. So Google is very good, as long as that, typically by default, the option is checked that you will automatically update an app. So whether it be a Facebook, a Twitter app, or VelaSense, as soon as an update comes down the pipeline, Google Play pushes it onto your phone.
And that's free of charge?
And it's free of charge, everything is.
And does that also include the voice, as you mentioned, like the computerized voices that you can go and you can get a more natural voice? Is that something that you also can attach on as a free upgrade?
We can look at those kind of offerings in the future. We don't currently support that.
Okay, so it's time to wrap up. I think we can do one more question from the lady with the very cool, warm-looking hat. That's you.
Okay. You said something about Wi-Fi. Do you need Wi-Fi in addition to VelaSense?
Yeah. So this brings to the forefront the importance of our partnership with Verizon. Right? Again, reaching the outside world. We do that through the partnership with Verizon. Verizon brings you the largest broadband network in the country, the 4G LTE. And with 3G, 4G, which is the cellular internet, you are able to reach our servers just as if you had a Wi-Fi connection that you're connecting to, for example, at this conference or in your home. Does that answer?
Well, so in other words, so you don't need Wi-Fi to use the app?
No, you don't.
You need some connectivity to the internet.
Right,
yes.
but that's automatically with Verizon.
Yeah.
I don't have to pay extra in addition to the $14.95.
Well, you have your Verizon bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you're getting your connectivity through your Verizon bill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so thanks everybody. It's time to wrap up. Make sure to fill out your survey forms.
Thank you.